Much is said about homeless veterans, who they are, why they got there, how they got there. But really, Veterans Aid doesn't accept any of this. What we're about is making things different, making a difference together to transform lives. And we do this every day.
You do arrive at the hostel as one person, yeah, and then leave as another.
OK, we're not military no more, but we were.
I dread to think what would have happened to me if Veterans Aid hadn't have been there for me.
The recession came along, things got hard. I was drunk at work. At some point, I lost my job, I don't know when. I'd lost my house, I don't know when. Basically, around 4 months of my life ended up as a complete blank.
After 9 years, left the army and found civilian life extremely hard. I've got a daughter and a girlfriend who was a long-time girlfriend. She couldn't cope with me, I couldn't cope with me. Didn't realise I was drinking heavy.
Towards the end, I was drinking heavily, gradually getting worse and worse, and eventually I ended up on a park bench in East London drinking methylated spirits. And
I didn't want to go back to my hometown. Obviously there was a pride issue there and embarrassment factor, and because of the blank I didn't know what I'd done, so I decided to walk to London from Kent, where I live.
And then ended up losing my business, feeling sorry for myself, which I did, I must admit. Felt sorry for me. Nobody else who felt sorry for myself. Ended up being here after being kicked out of my house, for which I purely deserved. It wasn't violence, it was just more, I don't know.
Back home there isn't much for homeless people, or there's no hostels, there's no charities there, so I thought making my way to the city would be where I'd find help. Before that time I didn't think being a veteran, or I was a veteran, or I was entitled to special treatment. I still don't now, really.
you get on, you trudge on, and that's what I did. I trudged on. I had various relationships with horrendous partners, and which didn't help, and you just trudge on. That's basically what I did, like in any part of life. If, you know, when the going gets tough, you just trudge on.
It was over the next couple of weeks when I first went to Veterans Aid that I think you kind of realised that there were people there that were going to help you. They said, you know, you won't be on the streets anymore. They gave me vouchers for clothes, they gave me money for food. I wasn't able to move to the hostel straight away, but there's another hostel, the Seamen's Rest, that they booked me into there. They were paying the rent. They paid my food while I was there, while I sorted out benefit claims. I think it's then that you realise that I don't want to go back to the way things were before. At first I was still rather nervous, definitely embarrassed when I first went to Veterans Aid. But when you start to meet the other lads that are in the same position, you realise it isn't you, and it isn't just the people like you. There's lots of reasons, and then it is reassuring that there are people that will help you.
When I walked through that door and I seen all the military plaques, I felt back at home. I felt like I'm back in barracks again. It was lovely.
When I thought of homeless hostels before, I'd never been in one. I'd never even considered I would ever end up in one. When you went to New Belvedere House, it's well decorated, it's carpeted. I had my own room. It's clean, it's tidy. There's cooking facilities. I have a fridge, bedding. They provided me with a TV. And they were always there when you first moved in. There's plenty. They gave me toiletries, stuff to make a cup of tea, milk. It was like, you know, they put the effort in and the money to have a nice place to say, we'll help you get back on your feet.
What made Veterans Aid work for me was the fact that they genuinely help and have a military ethic surrounding them, and they genuinely help ex-servicemen. And the whole thing about in the services, you don't desert your wounded, and Veterans Aid certainly don't, you know, turn down ex-servicemen. They just help them, which is wonderful.
Life's a lot better now. It definitely is a lot better. I've somewhere to live. I'm still in the hostel at the moment, which is not a bad thing, but now I'm working, I can look to move on. And life now, through Veterans Aid, through the farm, it's back on track.